Alright, so we are again working in our Unit 1A packet. And we are going to remember what we learned last topic, topic 1, which was all about GEMDOS, which told us the order that we do mathematical operations. G stands for grouping symbols, E stands for exponents, M and D is multiplication and division, and A and S is addition or subtraction. That's our order. So we're going to add a little bit more to this now because we are going to also have to combine like terms. So we have some variables in these terms. So like terms are terms in our expression that have the same variable and also the same exponent. Now, we won't see very many exponents in these examples, but later we'll get to things with different exponents, and we'll have to know that they're only like terms if they have the same variable and the same exponent. All right, and then one other thing to remember is just our distributive property as we work through these problems. All right, so let's look at the first one. So first we look for any grouping symbols, and I don't see any. So now we're just going to do addition or subtraction, and we're going to remember that we are going to only combine like terms. So I see addition, and I see addition between the 2x and the 5x, and the 2x and the 5x both have the same variable, so I can add those. So if you have 2x's and you add 5x's, when you combine those, you are going to get 7x. 2 and 5 is 7, and you keep the variable the same. And now I'm going to tack on this minus 7 at the end. Now I'm going to look at these two things. Now this is subtraction, right? And I know that we're supposed to do subtraction, but these are not like terms, since they do not have the same variable. This one has a variable of x, this one has no variable. Since they do not have the same variable, we cannot combine them, and so this is our final answer, 7x minus 7. Alright, so we're going to look at the next one together. So in the next one, we have a grouping symbol, G, and our grouping symbol has in it x plus 5. Now the thing with x plus 5 is that x and 5 are not like terms, so I can't add them. So this is a little bit different than the other grouping symbols we've seen. Since I can't combine them, I have to think about another way to get rid of that grouping symbol. And the other way we know how to get rid of parentheses is I can take this number out front, 2, and distribute it to both terms. The 2 is multiplied to everything in the parentheses. So if we distribute it, we would do this. 2 times x, and we'll get 2x. And then we'll do 2 times 5, and we'll get 10. I'm going to keep that symbol the same, plus 10. And then don't forget about at the end, we have that minus 7. So I have minus 7 at the end. Alright, so now I'm going to look at my problem. I see addition right here, but these are not like terms, so I can't combine them. So I'm going to move on to my next operation, which is subtraction. Positive 10 minus 7. I can combine those because they're like terms. So 10 minus 7 is a 3. So now I leave my 2x the same, and I have it plus 3. And that is my final answer. Alright, let's do the next one. Again, you see the grouping symbol, right, with x minus 7 inside, but we are unable to combine those. So we're going to think about, can I take this 5 and distribute it to both terms? So again, I'm going to draw my arrows when I distribute. I'm going to leave my 2x out front just the same, not touch it. And I'm going to take my positive 5 and distribute it to the x, or multiply. I get positive 5 times x is 5x. And then I'm going to do positive 5 times negative 7, and that's negative 35. Now I'm going to look at this from left to right, and I have addition first, and actually these are like terms, same variable in both. So I have 2x plus 5x, that's 7x. And then at the end I have minus 35, and again, 35 doesn't have a variable, so I cannot combine it with 7x. They're different variables. Alright, so this one is a nice one because I have 2 sets of parentheses. I guess it depends how you define nice. I think it's nice. You guys might not. So 2 sets of parentheses. I have x plus 3 and I have x minus 7. And again, I can't combine them in there, so I'm going to distribute. I'm going to draw my arrows down here this time, just because for the sake of room. And do these ones first. So I have 2 times x plus 3. If I distribute 2 times x, I get 2x. If I distribute 2 times 3, I get positive 6. Now we're going to go ahead to the next one. You have to be really careful here because you're not just distributing 5. You're distributing negative 5. That symbol goes with it. So when I write this down, I'm going to keep it in this red font. I'm going to do negative 5 times x. And that gives me negative 5x. And then I'm going to do negative 5 times negative 7. And negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35. Now I'm going to look through this problem from left to right. I'm going to see what I can combine. So I have some addition here, but these are not like terms. So I'm going to move right along and I'm going to look for things that are like terms. I have this 2x. I also have a negative 5x. Those are like terms. I'm going to combine those like terms. And 2x minus 5x is negative 3x. I'm going to use a different shape this time. I used a square, or a different color, and I'll do a positive 6 and a positive 35. Those are like terms. You can combine positive 6 and positive 35 to get positive 41. And that's my final answer because this has an x and this doesn't, so they are not like terms. I cannot combine them any further. Alright, I'm going to just do one more of these practice problems with you, and then I'm going to have you do the other ones on your own. So I'm going to do this one, number 1 right here. And it's 10 plus 3x minus 8x minus 7. And I don't see any grouping symbols, no parentheses in this problem at all, right? So I'm going to go ahead from left to right and look at what I see. I see addition, but these are not like terms. So I want to concentrate on things that are like terms. So I'm going to do that strategy I did before, where I put a box around things that are like terms. So this is a positive 3x. This is a negative 8x. I can combine those because they're like terms. When I combine positive 3x and negative 8x, I get negative 5x. And I'm just going to bring down these other terms. There was a 10 out front and a negative 7 over here. And I'm going to relook at my problem. The x is all by itself. There's nothing else alike with it. But I have some other like terms here. I have a 10 and a negative 7. I can combine 10 and negative 7 to get positive 3. So then after I combine those, I still have to worry about my negative 5x, and I can write that right there, and these are not like terms, so I can't combine them. One thing with this problem, depending on how you did it, you might have wrote your answer in a different way. You might have done the negative 5x first, and the positive 3 second, and those mean exactly the same thing, so it's fine to leave that just like that. Alright, I'm going to leave these problems for you to do on your own. So that's 2, 3, and 4 for you to do on your own. Alright, good luck.